Ever so slowly, the number of people turning against this show is starting to grow. And it's because of headlines like this one here. This is from GQ magazine. Bella Ramsey rebuffs Last of Us culture war backlash. I know people will think what they want to think, but they're going to have to get used to it, the actress said about the show's queer characters and storylines. And this is why there is a growing number of people pushing back against this specific show, because it's a terrible marketing strategy to tell the audience, if you don't like something, tough, gotta get used to it. How about no? How about you're in a very small minority and you're also in this crazy bubble where language doesn't mean anything anymore and neither does common sense? And what I mean by that is, if we flick down through the article, and this is across the board with Last of Us articles, all you got to do is type the Last of Us TV show into Google and hit the news section, and you will be inundated with LGBTQ representation, diversity and inclusion, gay representation, the next trans character is coming into this episode, we have a non-binary character coming into this episode, gender fluid episode coming up, and you're just like, stop already. And all you got to do is look at the comment sections for any criticism of this show, and they are hysterical, especially my own. Go look at some of my videos. We have these progressive lunatics who want to share the idea of hope and inclusion, except for when you disagree with them. Then they want your wife to be ended, they want your children to be ended, they go after you and try hurt you in all these ways. But it doesn't hurt me, and I don't care what you come at me with. It's not going to stop me talking. Because I had some lunatics saying a while ago, listen man, can you just do us a favor, please, I'm a soy boy cuck, can you please stop posting videos because you're in the minority? Everybody loves this show. You are the only one on the internet, bro, who doesn't love this show. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think you're in this strange, weird, inverted bubble and you're being gaslit. That's what I think. Do I think the majority of people hate this show? Of course not. Of course, it's a very well-made show. It's a very well-made show. Out of the 5 episodes that have aired so far, I liked episode 1. I loved episode 2. I hated episode 3. Episode 4 I thought was very good. I really liked that. And episode 5 I thought was extremely good. And I just asked 2 questions. Nobody could answer, but they just wanted all members of my family to lose their lives and all this type of stuff. So that's the progressive people that are frothing at the mouth to leave Bella Ramsey alone and leave Pedro alone. And it's like, dude, there's no one attacking anybody personally. These are questions that need to be asked of such a large scale show like The Last of Us. And when we look at the language that's used in this article, and just the language that's used in general, whether we're watching a TV show, whether we're watching the news, whether it's social media, or whether it's in our colleges and our educational systems, when we hear this sort of language where it says, Ramsey, who is now a non-binary, she uses she, her, they, them pronouns. This is lunacy to talk in this manner. What are you talking about? She uses she, her. What? Who says that? Who addresses people in this manner? All these buzzwords don't mean jack shit. Please stop. Stop forcing them down people's throats. Stop forcing young, impressionable minds to think in terms of gender fluid. I looked up the meaning of this trash. A person that's gender fluid when they don't identify solely as a male or a female and their gender identity changes over time. Thus, the term refers to the change in a person's gender expression and the way they look and behave, identity or both. That is a full paragraph of mental illness. What are you talking about? Is there any link directing us to healthcare professionals right underneath this? I don't see it. I've seen it all over the place for the last 2 years, but I haven't seen it anywhere here. You're talking about a person that decides that they can change their identity from week to week depending on how they feel? There's something wrong with you. Why is this on every headline regarding the Last of Us TV show, a post-apocalyptic game about zombies, and we gotta hear this trash get rolled out every time someone talks about it? And you're told, shut up and get over it. No, I won't get over it. And I'm gonna keep pointing it out for what it is, and it's absolute and utter lunacy that's been injected and pumped into our pop culture and into this show, and they're using it as a blanket so the criticism can't come in fast and heavy. That's why. Because if you have a legitimate opinion about this show or something that you dislike, take for instance the 5th episode. I spoke about the character of Sam Bin Def. wasn't in the game. I don't understand what it gave to the 5th episode to make it better. I thought the 5th episode was a good episode. If you actually watch my reviews all the way through, instead of just looking at the thumbnail and getting triggered like a 5-year-old, you would understand what I'm talking about. I asked 2 questions about that episode, and I would say 95% of the comments are mentally ill people trying to attack me. And you can keep on coming. Keep clicking it, keep getting triggered. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. You're not going to offend me. You're not going to deter me from making videos and telling the truth. And that's exactly what it is. If you look at some of the biggest YouTube movie reviewers, they are tiptoeing like they're on eggshells when reviewing these episodes. Because if there's one thing that they disagree with, one part of the narrative, you're triggering all these mentally ill window lickers. It's such a weird phenomenon to see people so scared to tell the truth, or even to criticize it for whatever reason. Here we have one of the best screenwriters in the game, Paul Schrader. He doesn't understand The Last of Us hype and calls episode 3 super schmaltzy, gay bro euthanasia melodrama. That's very interesting because this story has been brushed under the rug. This is an Academy Award nominated screenwriter. A Hollywood legend, you might say. He wrote Taxi Driver. His opinion might actually mean something in terms of screenwriting and storytelling. What do you think the response to this specific opinion was? Was it open discourse where people jumped into the comment section and were like, you might have a point there, man. It was a little bit melodramatic. It was a little bit heavy-handed. No. That's not what happens when you criticize this show. When you criticize this show, they come after you. They come after your family. They want you gone. I have been told on at least 5 occasions this week that my channel is going to be reported over and over and over until they can get it taken down. Because I asked the question, how was Sam's character being deaf better than him not being deaf? Why did they put in this oppression Olympics aspect to that episode? Why did they feel the need to make you feel even more sympathy for Sam, given the fact that he was a young kid that was trying to survive with his brother in this post-apocalyptic nightmare where there was people after him, there was zombies everywhere? That wasn't enough. We needed the extra crutch of him being deaf. And it reminds me of an interview recently with James Cameron where he talked about Leonardo DiCaprio came in for the audition for Jack Dawson, Titanic 1997. He got the gig. Then Leo came to him and he said, listen, I've been looking at my character and I think that it would add a little bit more to this character in terms of Oscar season if he had an impediment, if he had a stutter or if he had a limp. And James Cameron said, listen, that's the easy thing to do. The hard thing to do as an actor is just be normal. That's why the great actors can do it very, very well. And he said, no, that character is not going to have any sort of impediment. It's going to stand on its own. You're just going to be this normal character. And it was a really good character. And it was a really good call by Jim Cameron. But with The Last of Us, the showrunners seem hell-bent on stacking the ailments and the impediments on top of each other, totally deviating from source material and just being a little bit schmaltzy. Would you believe it? Paul Schrader called it out last week and he got attacked. Anybody who calls out any sort of flaw or criticism with this show are being attacked. And we have the star of the show, Bella Ramsey, telling people to just get used to it because she's gender fluid, non-binary, she, her, they, them. What? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe share out the video and subscribe. I appreciate it. Cheers.